Hey everybody, this is Andy Stuckin with EduSpect Iowa Home Inspections. And one of the things I often hear people talk about is the fact that they're nervous about their service panel, their electrical panel. They're not really sure what's going on or what it's about, and they're quite frankly they're scared of it. So I'm just going to go through a few steps here, and I apologize for the grainy, janky video here to start. I promise they'll get better. So what we're looking at here is your basic service panel. This is a square D box. It's one of the major manufacturers in service panels and electrical supplies. And what you've got here is you've got a lot of breakers. And the breakers are just these smaller circuit interrupters here that will help if there's an issue in your electrical system. They will trip, therefore stopping your house or potentially stopping your house from catching on fire and burning to the ground, which is always positive. So the first thing we're going to look at here is the main breaker, and this is a 200 amp service, and you can see right there on the switch there it says 200, which signifies the service to your house. And then these little guys right here are square D breakers. You can see the different numbers on them indicate the different amps that they are able to hold before they will break or pop. And so if you overload a circuit, putting more than 20 amps in the upper left hand corner there, that will trip and will signify that you've got too much power usage to that breaker, so therefore it will trip. Now if you notice the little white buttons on the right hand side of those breakers, those are ground fault circuit interrupters, or GCFIs. And what they do is they will trip a little bit quicker than the regular breakers will. Definitely a positive and a better safety feature than the regular breakers on the left. Now, why aren't they all that way? Well, you can get your breaker on the left for about $6, I think, $6 to $15, and your one on the right's about $40, $50, $60 a pop, depending on where you go, where you live, where you're at. And so therefore it's a little bit different in price. So obviously cheaper is better in home construction for a lot of people. Now, if you look down here, you've got some that are a little bit bigger. Okay, these are called double pole breakers. The ones on the left are single poles. And if you notice the size of the breakers, those 30 amps are double poles, and the single poles are 20s and 15s. So as the amps get higher, you need a little more power, therefore they are double pole. So if one of these does happen to trip on you, like let's say it pops for a certain reason, we're gonna hit the test button here. Okay, now what that does is shut all the lights off. All you have to do is simply flip that breaker back and forth. And I obviously tripped the one that runs the whole entire garage thing here. So let's try a different one over here. We'll try this one to pop it. Okay, so it's off. Obviously it's not working. It's literally as simple as flipping it back and forth. Okay, now I know that seems very easy, and you would be surprised the number of people that aren't really sure. Now if you look over here on the right, your panel should have a nice little nifty chart here that's going to tell you exactly what each and every one of those panels is on. Now, if you're going to do any construction whatsoever in your house, I highly suggest having a certified electrician come out and talk to you about this stuff. Now, I obviously am a home inspector. I've seen quite a few different things, and I don't mess with my own stuff. I obviously have a qualified electrician come in because electricity scares me to death. One wrong slip and you're lit up like a Christmas tree. So that's all for tonight. Just a basic recap of everything. So your main service panel on top, your main service breaker on top right there, your individuals, your single poles versus your double poles, and your regular breakers versus your GCFI breakers. So just kind of keep that in mind when you guys are fumbling through here with your cell phone light trying to figure out which breaker is flipped. It's just as easy as flipping that switch back and forth. And if it doesn't go on the first try, flip it again. And if it doesn't go at all, it could very easily be that you have a bad breaker or something is currently overloading something so high that the breaker will not flip again. So if that situation arises, you're definitely going to want to get a qualified electrician to come take a look at it. Thanks. Have a great night.